Welcome back to part 6 of creating a Discord economy bot from scratch with slash commands. So in the last video, we created the balance command. And in this video, we're going to do a daily command where every user in your server can claim a free random amount of coins per day every 24 hours with a cooldown. Now, let's get right into it. And to start, let's first turn off the bot and clear the console. And we can just lower the console for now. Go into your directory and create a global values.json. Now, what this global values.json will be is it's going to hold values pertaining to your bot so that you can just update the values from here and not have to actually go into the code of every file in case you ever want to change the values in the future. So first, create an object in this JSON file, and all you got to do is type daily min. So this is going to be the minimum amount that your daily can be per day. And this is going to be set to 1 for us, but again, you guys can set it to any value you want. Then we're going to set a daily max, which I'm going to set 10 here, but if you want it to be lower, you could do maybe 1 to 5 or 1 to 3, or maybe you want higher. You can do 1 to 100 if you want. Whatever you want works. All right, once you got this JSON file written, we can close it out and actually go into our models in our profile schema. We're going to want to have to create a new daily last used property for each user. So this is going to track when the last time each user used the daily command. This is going to be type of number. And we're going to set the default to 0 as they've never used the daily command if they just got into our server now. Let's close that out. That's all we need from there. And let's go into commands and create a new file called daily.js. All right, in here, let's just do what we always have done. Go to the ping command, copy pasta. All right, there we go. Pasted that into the daily command, and let's change the name to daily. Seems about right. And let's change the description of redeem free coins every day. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now let's delete the encode in here. Don't forget, guys, bring in profile data from each command so we have access to the database data for each user. And we also want to import some things into this document. So what we're going to want to do is actually go down to the terminal and install a new package. So npm install, and it's called parse ms2. So just type in parse ms2, install that into your document. There we go. Then you can close the terminal out, and let's just import that. So you're going to do const parse milliseconds equals require, and then going to type parse ms2, the thing we just installed. I'll show you guys what this does exactly later, but basically just going to turn time in milliseconds into things that users can actually read, like hours, minutes, and seconds. All right, then we want to bring in the profile models. We're actually going to want to set the daily last used property and add the points to the user's balance every time they use the daily command. So we're going to need profile model in here. So just like normal, profile model, require, and then go to the profile schema document. Then we're also going to want to include those global values that we just created. So we're going to want to take daily min and daily max. And we're going to take that from the JSON file that we just created. So global values.json. There we go. And that's actually everything we need to create the daily command. So let's get to coding it. So here we go. We're going to want to get the ID of the user. So let's get const ID, and we can pull that out of interaction.user. Easy peasy. Then we can get the daily last used from the profile data that we pass in. So daily last used is what we called it in the profile schema. And we can get that from profile data. So remember, profile data is the data of this specific user that is using the interaction. Then we're going to create a new variable called cooldown. So const cooldown equals, and this is going to be the amount of time you want each user to wait before they can use this command. For the daily command, obviously we want that once a day. So it's going to be 24 hours, and we're going to put that into milliseconds, which is 86,400,000 milliseconds. And this is equivalent to 24 hours. So make sure you get those zeros correctly. It's 86,400,000. All right, 400,000. So that's going to be our cooldown for this command. And then we're also going to say const time left This is going to be the remaining time the user has until they can use the command again. And the way we're going to calculate that is we're going to take the cooldown and subtract that from date.now. So date.now is going to take the current time that it is in milliseconds of when the user is using this command. And we're going to subtract that from daily last used. All right, so this is going to calculate how much time is left in milliseconds. So we're going to say if time left is greater than 0. So if there is still more remaining time left, then that means we have to send the user a message, hey, you can't use the daily command yet. You actually need to wait this certain amount of time before you can use it again. And to do that, we're actually going to do await interaction.defer reply. And this is going to allow us to actually send the reply as ephemeral, and we can set that to true. And so what this basically does is means that this error message telling them that they have to wait to use the daily command is actually only going to be sent to them. And it's not going to spam any channels with saying, hey, you have to wait. It's actually just going to send it only to the user who used the command. So that's actually pretty useful if you want to use that in other commands, but this is all we're going to use it for in this one. And then we're going to say const time parsed. So we're going to parse the time using that thing that we just imported, parse milliseconds. And we're going to parse how much time is left. So parse milliseconds, and we're going to pass in time left. So now we have the time parsed from the parse milliseconds of how much time we have left. But we can actually go in here, and instead of making a variable, we can actually extract out the hours, the minutes, and the seconds from this function, and then we can just write our reply await interaction.edit reply. So not defer reply, but edit reply. Since we already deferred the reply, we cannot just do a regular reply. We actually have to edit it, because basically Discord has said, okay, you guys have already replied to it. You can't reply to the same command more than once. Now we're just going to go back and edit our reply, and we're going to say backticks claim your next daily in, and then we can just do take the hours, HRS for hours. Then we can type the minutes here, and then we can say min, and then we can also add the seconds here. So seconds, and then we can say sec. There we go. So that's going to be the message that outputs if the user has already used their daily. That's it for the error message. So this is not really an error message, but just a notification message telling the user that, hey, you can't use your daily just yet. You actually have to wait a little bit more time. Now we're going to move on to the code that if the user can use their daily. So we're going to start off and say await interaction.defer reply. But this time we're not going to send this ephemeral true in there, because we actually want this to be a public message. And then we're going to create a new variable called random amount. So const random AMT. So random amount is going to be the amount of coins that you want to give each user, and we're going to do it between this range, daily min and daily max. So this is the time we're going to use those variables. So what we're going to do is do a math.floor, and then we're going to do math.random. So it's going to be a random number between 0 and 1, and we can multiply that by our daily max minus our daily min plus 1. So this plus 1 basically just makes it inclusive, so that we are including this number and we are including this number. And then outside the parentheses, we can do plus daily min. So this is going to be the equation that you're going to want to do to calculate a random number between your min and your max. It's going to have to be in this exact order. So guys, make sure you get that equation correct. And now all we have to do is go into the profile model, find this user in the database. We're going to have to set their daily last use time in the database. And we're also going to have to increase their balance by the random amount of coins that we just calculated. All right, let's do that now. So let's make sure to use a try and catch anytime we're accessing the database. And we're going to catch the error, and once we get the error, we're just going to console.log the error. That's all we're going to do for now. You guys can also add further error handling if you would like. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do await profile model. Make sure it's profile model, not profile data. And we're going to do profile model. We're going to do find one and update. So we're going to find this user and update some information. We're going to match the user by their user ID. So user ID is from our profile schema, and we're going to match it with the ID that we extracted from interaction.user. Then in here, we're actually going to do money sign set. So this is how MongoDB does it. If you want to set a value, you just do that. We're going to set this user's daily last used to be date dot now. So we're just saying, okay, the user just now used this daily command. We're then going to increase their balance. So let's do money sign increase. So INC. And we're going to go to their balance and we're going to increase it by the random amount that we just calculated up here. That's actually all we have to do to update their information in the database. So now all we got to do is send them a reply saying that they successfully redeemed their daily. So await interaction.edit reply. And we're just going to say you redeemed and then the random amount coins. Perfect. That's all we're going to say. You say you redeemed however much we calculate coins. Perfect. So that's it for now. And let's go and test it out. So let's open up the terminal. Remember to deploy your commands. So node deploy commands.js. There we go. It says it was successful. Now let's start up our bot. And let's go to the Discord and test it out. So let's check our balance. So our balance is 10 coins right now. Let's do the daily, our new command. Let's see, hopefully it works. It says you redeemed 8 coins. And now let's check our balance one more time just to make sure that it increased our balance. And there we go. We now have 18 coins in our balance. And this is future me. I actually forgot to do the daily command and test if our error handling is working. So this should send yep, it did. It sends a message only to us. So no other people in this channel will be able to see this except for the user. And it says claim your next daily in 23 hours, 12 minutes, and 3 seconds. So there we go. The daily command error handling is working. It sends a notification to the user that they can't claim their daily yet. And that is it for this command. In the next one, we're going to create a donate command so that users can actually donate their coins to other users in the server. So if you guys want to see that, check it out in the next video. See you guys there.